Welcome back, everybody. Minecraft HCMCS8, which I believe will be the last for a while as I take a little break from the Minecraft thing. Still thinking that's the way to go, but I'm not going to try to kill myself quickly. Timer set for 17 minutes, and away we go. Where was east? Sun, going that way. East, behind me. Oh, that's right, I picked up my boat and almost lost my axe. You can have my axe. That was weird, I was stuck. So again, with the project thing, so many ideas. Really starting to rethink this calligraphy thing as I'm mentally going through the checklist of how and what and why I wanted to do before when I came up with this idea of doing videos. I forgot. First things first. There's a lot of interesting things that I would love to teach anyone interested in modern calligraphy. See it on the Instagrams or the YouTubes and say, boy, I'd like to learn how to do that. And that's kind of what I did. See, the thing is, since I was a wee lad in middle school in the 80s, the 1980s, elementary school, middle school, you know, I was fascinated with medieval illuminated manuscripts. Those old books you see with the really amazing text surrounded by fun, colorful pictures of dragons and gold leaf adorning certain letters. Super fascinated. Always thought it'd be cool to do. Never had a clue how to progress. Until shortly after 2017, when I did the Inktober thing, started watching some other YouTubers. I accidentally stumbled on a particular YouTube video that made it all okay. Kind of made the old childhood dream a real possibility. And I started watching this long video and some from the same artist. And I'm not dropping names right now because I'm going to get into all that. I'm going to introduce the theories and the who's and the why's. A lot of ocean and seed 8. So that was the whole thing. You know, the why I wanted to learn how to do calligraphy. Which is funny because in 3rd or 4th grade, in this tiny ass little school in this tiny little town, we did cursive. And of course, back then, cursive, you had to make your letters, you know, the angle had to be just right, the width of the hoop in the lowercase L, the, what do you call it? The little peak underneath the cursive lowercase t had to be shaped just right, and you got graded on it. And I despised it. I enjoyed writing with it because it was quicker than regular manuscript, but I did not like learning it and did not like being tested on it. Then we did a very short lesson on calligraphy, which at the time, what they said was calligraphy was cursive with more angle, more rules, more everything, and it was so much harder. And at the time, I said, I hate calligraphy. I will never do this again. Fast forward 30 years, 35 years, and it turns out calligraphy is just a fancy word for beautiful writing. And I mean, there's, like with modern calligraphy, you've got the brush calligraphy, you've got the medieval styles, the black letter, Gothic, certain types of cursive, chancery cursive, copperplate, which, don't get me started on copperplate. I'll explain all that when we get to the cursives or the calligraphy section, which I feel could very well happen. But here's the thing. So I wanted to learn how to make my own illuminated manuscripts. And I, being me, I wanted to learn how to do it the real way. And that's where the disillusionment came in. The feeling that this is just dumb, I should stop now. And I kind of did, but I still kept with me everything that I had learned. And I'll explain that, and I'll explain how I think it's possible to get over all that if you wanted to learn how to do modern calligraphy. So I was doing that, learning, and using the videos and Instagram shorts and websites and writings of a few specific calligraphers who I will share, point you in their direction when we get to that point. And, you know, okay, so that's great, but in medieval times, it wasn't always easy to get particular shades of ink, or maybe they didn't use watercolors, or, you know, they mixed their own plant-based dyes with a substance known as glaire, which was a bookbinder's glue back in the day, which was made from eggs. Of course I tried making my own glaire. Of course I tried making my own. At one point, I figured out a, I guess kind of a simpler DIY way to make your own ink from, like, walnuts, or what else did I mix? What else did I make ink out of? I don't remember. I'll have to take a... Oh, blueberries. I did blueberries, frozen blueberries. And I have a technique that I kind of put together based on all the research I did that other people have done. Mulling. You've seen the shorts, the TikToks and Instagram reels of people mulling watercolors, or, you know, some form of paint, where they have a really shiny colored substance on a glass plate, and they're going over it in circles with a glass version of an air hockey puck. Not puck. Air hockey stick? Paddle. We'll call it a paddle. And I figured out a cheap DIY way to do that. The soda can pens. You've seen those before. Pinterest is a good one for that. Don't get me started on Pinterest either. Another one of my sites that I despise. And I figured out an easier, faster way to make those. Wow, that's a lot of shorties. And I did a couple of videos on making ink with this new system that I developed using standard household equipment. And this was a couple of years ago, and I deleted the videos because, oh no, oh no. We'll just spectate for now. I really do like this forest. Should have went the other way. So I think we're gonna have to get out of here to see where. Oh, there's the moon. Which way is the moon going? That way. How far did we get? So yeah, the calligraphy thing. I'm feeling it. Part of this whole just create for the sake of creating, share for the sake of sharing, maybe teach for the sake of teaching. If anyone learns from it, that's awesome. And yeah, that's something that as I progressed through the steps of learning myself, I also picked up various ways of making my own tools and my own um, resources. I guess we can call them resources. Ink. I did make my own paper. Not a big fan of that for calligraphy, but I did it. All for the sake of learning how to do everything the right way. One of the big things you'll see in the old manuscripts is the imagery along the outside, the dragons, the knights, the ivies. There's a particular type of plant which is also um, used quite often on American currency, and it's an acanthus leaf. And I didn't even know what that was. So I watched some videos on how to draw those. Never got really good at it, but it's been a common thing for hundreds of years in hand created documents. So I wanted to at least understand the process. But I had come up with the idea that, I could sit down and go over the tools that I used. In one video, I could go over, here's this pen, and then here's how to make this pen or this pen quickly, easily, dollar store items. Here's how to make a cheap, another video about ink. Here's how I could do it using my method. Here's a way if you don't even know if you want to get into calligraphy, you just want to experiment, go to the dollar store, get yourself this, and this, mix them together, and you've got yourself a test practice ink that costs like $4 for an unlimited amount of writing. And as I mentally go through all this, like, okay, I want to show off this in VR and this in VR with that whiteboard in your face thing. I'm also thinking, oh yeah, I wanted to get on my art bench with some good paper and with, let's make a homemade pen. Let's make some homemade ink. Let's use both of these items together, make something expressive, make something that you can call your own. It in between, kind of break up the monotony of learning the letters and my personal reasons why learning the letters is not as crucial as, like, if you go and buy a book on calligraphy, they're going to tell you that your letters have to be formed just right. Just like when I learned cursive and fake calligraphy back in elementary school. And I don't believe it has to be that way. And I base that on finding digitized illuminated manuscripts on the internet. And I'm going to go over that. So if you're at all interested in calligraphy, I'm probably going to figure out this playlist thing on YouTube so that they can all be put together. But going forward, this could be a thing. Not 100% sure yet, but as you can tell, I'm kind of excited about it. Aside from that, I really enjoyed making the shorts that I did, and I'm still looking at the animating thing. I got a new piece of software on my tablet, looking at the idea of grease pencil and blender and just doing some animating and just seeing where it takes me. Maybe I'll pop in and do some gameplay here and there, but otherwise, I want to make stuff. I have no idea if I made it this far. We're down to 1:30, so this is it. The start of the Minecraft, the HCMCS question mark hiatus. The beginning of the hiatus. Hey, I think I died right around here. There's a creeper. There's the drowns. There's my stuff. I found my stuff. Be nice to watch him burn himself out before we shut down. Well, still have a minute. Let's see what was over the next horizon. Plans within plans. Creating, sharing, teaching, learning. See, I probably would have tried water spelunking to that and gotten killed anyway. I've never actually gone into one of those. I know I've seen them, but the little, oh, there we go. The little spiky dudes swimming around have always prevented me from risking it. And hardcore, probably more so. Here we go. We got a little biome thing going on. All right. So the beginning of a hiatus. We'll see how long it lasts. I'll be back. I don't know how long it will take. I don't know what we're going to come back with, but I'm having fun making videos. Even if nobody watches them, I'm having fun, so I'm doing this for me. If I do the calligraphy, I'm going to be doing it for me. All right. Thanks for watching. Thanks for bearing with me through 8 seeds of this nonsense. Thanks for watching me die 8 times. Have a happy.